Welcome back to Grand Central Terminal here in New York City. Haley Rubin has opened up our final match of the evening with a strike. This is Melanie Hannon, and our first game of this best of two match. Mike J. Laneside with the bowling guy, Jason Thomas, and Aaron Uradovich. My friend, you are 2-0.
Well, I kind of got the breaks my way, and I threw it good when I needed it, and thank God I'm where I am.
Man, the ups and downs of the sport of bowling. You went from the high of a multi-strike string, and then gutter ball. What happened on that shot?
Well, I started the game, didn't really have a good line. I kept jumping left, and I couldn't get my ball to kind of read at the right time, and I went 5-pin Brooklyn, whatever, spare, 4-pin spare, 4-bagger, and I got up in the and it kind of bounced off my ankle. Well, it did bounce off my ankle. I kind of got it down in my follow through, and it bounced off my ankle, went in the gutter, and I almost rolled the 2 on the spare, but it was just bad shot, didn't really focus, moved on to the next frame.
So our final girls match of the night, Haley Rubin against Melanie Hannon. Haley is 1-0. Melanie fighting to stay alive at 0-1. And we've got all strikes here in the early going. First game, best of 2. Rubin Hannon.
Are they bowling on short or long?
Looks like long.
Okay. Yeah, because it kind of looks like both of them are trying to play a little farther to the right, a little straighter through the lane.
Yeah, and they packed the pocket the first 3 shots between them, and that one was just a little off.
Yeah, and that was the thing I noticed. There was hold, but it was to a point. You couldn't get it in too much, or just the back ends here are really strong. So you had hold, but just not enough of it to really take advantage of it.
Yeah, it looked like around the early part of that second game, you got one in, and it held for you, and you gave it a little bit of a look, and then the next one you got right, and it ripped the rack, and you probably felt like you had a little bit of.
Well, the shot, I know the shot you're talking about. I threw it, and I thought I got it in, and it shimmed, and I looked away. It was just bad. But it went in, carried, and I came up the next frame, and my hand is so ungodly sweaty. I mean, I'm pounding the rosin bag and just jamming my hand in the ball, and I jammed my fingers in enough that I got it a couple right, and it recovered really good. So, but it was surprising. I mean, my fingers I got them in so far that it just ripped right through it.
Yeah, if you're gonna miss right, throw it slow and catch it all.
Yeah, because if you miss it right, woo, right in the gutter.
Except for on the cheetah pattern.
Oh yeah,
in which case that's Brooklyn.
If you want to throw it right on the cheetah pattern, you.
But we enjoyed your comment about Greg.
Oh yeah.
In the interview. Throwing him under the bus there.
Well, I was sitting here, and when he did that, my jaw dropped. So I mean, you never want to win that way. I mean, it's the worst way to win. I mean, and I apologized to him like 3 times, because he threw it really good, and he just kind of didn't carry when he needed to, and you never want to win like that, but thank God, I mean.
So it sets up an interesting scenario for tomorrow. If you're able to win your match, and Cameron Doyle wins his match, and both Jacob and Greg lose their match, there's going to be a 3-way tie.
Well, it's unique because if I lose, then Greg's tied with me, and if Cameron loses, Jacob's tied with me. And I don't quite understand how they're going to work the tiebreaker yet, but it'll be a very interesting day, tomorrow. I mean, hopefully, Cameron comes out and spanks him like he should, which would help because that would put Cameron at 1-2, and that would put Jacob at 1-2, which then, regardless if I win or I lose, Greg can me and Greg would go to the finals. But, I'm not hoping for anything. I'm not hoping that Jacob falls and breaks his leg or, Cameron doesn't show up in the morning. I mean, I want them to do as good as they can, but, it would be nice to get some help. I mean, and it's funny because we bowl the first match, so it's not like we get to see what happens and then, oh, crap, But
Right.
it's kind of nice that regardless if I win or lose and regardless what happens, I'm at least in this tiebreaker to make it. I don't know how the tiebreaker is going to work, but I'm there.
Right.
Each player is open in the third frame. Rubin with a 9-pin lead over Hannon. As we enter the fourth here, game one, best of two. Mike J. Laneside with the bowling guy Jason Thomas. Aaron Uradovich joins us, fresh off his victory in a second sudden death roll-off today.
Yeah, those sudden death roll-offs, they really like me. And I was really, really surprised. Normally you try and put all the pressure on the other player, and clearly that shows a lot that Jacob really likes a lot of pressure to put me in number one.
Yeah, so the opposite scenario to what we were talking about there with three players tying at 1-2 is that three players could tie at 2-1, and all three would bowl a one-game roll-off, and the two winners would advance to the final.
Wow.
So there's a lot of funny things that can happen
Oh
tomorrow.
yeah, this format, it's kind of nice that it's. I like this format more than I do last year because you bowl 2 games and then you're done. I really like that you have more games, you have more time to get comfortable. Which if I can win the first game and actually get comfortable the first game, I might have a chance at not putting myself in a roll-off again.
Yeah, there's only been one match so far that's been decided in regulation.
Yeah.
So there's a score as it hangs over this great bowling facility here at Grand Central Terminal. This one-lane build. Team Masters, in cooperation with the Professional Bowlers Association, teaming up to bring you this great coverage on Extra Frame Online Bowling Channel. Melanie Hannon, 45 through 3, now up in the fourth frame.
Oh yeah, everybody that doesn't have Extra Frame is clearly crazy because you need to get Extra Frame and watch. Because if you don't, you're crazy.
I think that's the best compliment we've had in quite a while, Aaron.
Yeah,
Thank
I think everybody that has an Extra Frame account needs to tweet or Facebook or whatever else there is in this world, that everybody needs to get an Extra Frame, because if you don't have an Extra Frame, I don't know about you.
You're missing out.
Yeah, you are.
So, the interesting scenario on the girls' side here is that if Haley Rubin can win this match, we'd already have our finalists for tomorrow.
Shakes the 7 out. A little fist pump out of Haley Rubin.
She's got the crowd working. She's got the intensity. I love it.
She had the crowd on her side earlier.
Oh yeah, she's high-fiving, pumping them out, slapping them off. If that's what, when I bowl, if I got to yell a little bit or, fist pump or something, you're going to see it happen. I'm really surprised that, that might have been a bad shot, but that they're trying to play that far right. Normally the girls try and really, really tighten things up on the long pattern.
Yeah, if they both stay there, though, you should see some of the track open up a little bit.
Definitely.
Maybe for game 2.
Definitely, and the shots that you catch it a little bit, the shot that I got my fingers in it and caught it, it came back from like 11. So if you can get on it and keep your speed down, you'll get the ball back.
Had a brief moment of blind terror there, but the ball did recover to pick up the spare. Seen a couple shade on that side.
Yeah, hooking.
How tough is it, spares up the middle versus cross lane?
Well, I never, like 3-4 years ago, I never used to use plastic. I didn't like the feel of it. And it's just, once you get a plastic ball, use it, get used to it. All you're doing is getting up there and just throwing it at the pin. You know, when you hook at a 2-pin or hook at a 2-8 or hook at a 6-pin or something, you know, there's so many different things that can happen. You know, the ball can hook, the ball can slide too far, you can throw it too fast. Just a lot of weird things can happen.
Hey, Grand Central's alive. Haley Rubin.
It
Doubles.
It may be 9 o'clock, but people are still awake.
The city that never sleeps.
Yeah. Except when I get back to the hotel room. Taking me a nap.
Well, we'll be back here 9 a.m. tomorrow. As
Stop reminding me.
Aaron Uranovich will take on Greg Young first thing in the morning. And then we've got 4 more matches of preliminary round competition before we seed our championship matches. Now Melanie Hannon up in the 6th frame on the spare.
That was a really, really good shot. She got it in a little bit, and it just stayed there and went through the pins really, really good.
They both have some nice cheering sections, Mike J.
Yeah, I mean, man, where were my fans at? Come on.
Nice group assembled here. Folks in the stands and folks passing by. Heading home tonight. To the left is 42nd Street. To the right is Grand Central. Trains all over the East Coast.
And I'm really glad that there's a lot of people here. I mean, it really gives you the feel of you're bowling in a stadium. You know, when you strike, a lot of people cheer, and it really gets your blood flowing.
Well, I imagine tomorrow it'll be even more crowded.
Yeah.
Especially that final match for the scholarship.
Yeah.
Haley Rubin on a double 7th frame.
Push. That's right. And I really like her mindset, you know, 9-9 is a good, you know, oh man, I didn't strike, you know, no, it's okay, good, got the 7 out, get up and make a good attempt at the spare.
Is that a little fan that she brought?
There's a couple of fans that were brought in after the first match.
Did you use that, Aaron?
Yeah, but it was so sweaty up there. My hand was just moist. I mean, I tried to use it as much as I could, and I tried to use as much rosin as I could, and it just couldn't get my hand to stay in the ball long enough. So, man, I don't want to be the person she's high-fiving. She looks like she's ready to hurt somebody.
Haley fans in the house.
Where's she from? South Dakota?
Yeah.
'Cause it sounded like there were a ton of people here to watch her. It's awesome.
Brandon, South Dakota. Just graduated from Brandon Valley High School.
All right, well, Melanie Hannon can cut the lead here to 8 pins. She can catch a double here in the 7th.
Up stays the 7.
And you know, this match is kind of interesting because Melanie made it last year. She bowled in Grand Central last year, right?
Yeah, she was eliminated in the semifinal round.
Yeah, so that's kind of her up. And then Haley has all the fans, which is kind of her up. So it really, you know, the experience or kind of the cheering atmosphere really could play into effect in this match.
Hannon on the spare, trails by 18 through 7 frames here. Game 1, best of 2. Haley Rubin steps up. She graduated from Brandon Valley High School earlier this year and will enroll at Waldorf College in Forest City, Iowa. And she plans on studying music education. 18 years old. And she is up in the 8th frame, working on a spare. 2 doubles and an open frame, and 18-pin advantage over Melanie Hannon. Already has a victory on her side, looking for 2 and a seed into the championship final. High flush, didn't get the 4.
Making good shots, though, just keeping the ball in play, hitting the pocket. Looks a lot more comfortable than she was in game 1 of her opening match, where she shot under 130.
Yeah, and definitely, I mean, just going from the first match to the second match, before we started, I was more comfortable. The hand thing kind of, you know, it was really moist. That being that aside, you're not as nerve-wracking. It's just, you know, you're going to get up, you're going to bowl your game the second match. And I really like the importance she has on her spare game. It's really important right now to just make your spares, stay in it, and just kind of learn why you spared or why you didn't strike. And I really like that about her game.
Yeah, she's intense.
Yeah, she is.
A lot of good shots being thrown this game, fellas.
And I think was it my first game? Yeah, I went strike, 10 pin, 10 pin, 10 pin. I think that they're freshly oiled before each match, and I think the oil just gets down the lane really fast, and it's really, really hard if you don't move away from it really fast to get your ball to take the 10 out. I mean, oil gets down lane and your ball just doesn't hit.
Got a hook. Yeah, on the short pattern, that ball picks up and makes it, but on the long pattern, there's no help.
Yeah, not my whole spare game, but what I do with my hand and where I look. I mean, I moved my eyes, everything on all my right side spares. My eyes will run right, were aboard right, just to account for the hook. I mean, even just kind of flattening my hand out, I even found that the ball would read a little bit.
All right, so with that miss, Melanie Hannon 133 through the 8th, trailing by 29 pins. She's talking to somebody over there, Mike J.
162 through 8, strike up for Rubin. She leads by 29 over Hannon. Melanie in trouble in game 1. Haley way ahead.
Yeah, and this is kind of the point where you don't really worry about the spare. I mean, she might shoot it, but just yeah, I don't think she's gonna shoot the spare. But just make some shots. Just try and get comfortable for the next game, because I mean, she looks pretty comfortable. She doesn't have a lot of miss with what she's doing. She's got to figure it out and hopefully get her shoes on for the next game.
Yeah, you'd know a little bit about that. You've lost both of your first games, and were able to come back in game 2 and be 2-0.
Well, game 2, I threw the first one bad, went Brooklyn. I'm like, okay, whatever. I 4-pinned. I said, okay, I'm in the right part of the lane. Just get it a little right. The first one I threw really good. Second one I wrenched on and got it right and struck. I think I 4-baggered. And then did the gutter, whatever. Gutter 9, I think. And you kind of can't worry about, oh, the little piece of dust on the ground, or, oh, man, the baby screaming in the back. You kind of just have to get up there, get set, focus yourself, and just commit to the shot. And if you don't commit, stop. Because every shot right now is really, really important.
There's some happy noise in this building. Final match tonight. Rubin wins game 1. Best of 2. Haley can get into the championship match with a win here over Melanie Hannon. And in that event, we would have our girls' championship match sewn up. It would be Ashley Dunn and Haley Rubin.
And that would be a very, very impressive final match, I think. Because Haley kind of has the crowd on her side, Now, if she wins this match, she'll have some momentum. But then again, Ashley will have the kind of riding the wave off of the Tournament of Americas. So, you know, it kind of just really depends who focuses and commits to shots.
She's never lost at the Teen Masters.
Yeah, that too. I mean, you know, keeping the streak alive.
She moved up this year into the high school division, but she's the last 2 years was the under 14 champion.
Well, it was really impressive. The thing that I was impressed about is when we were in qualifying, you know, after I think it was the first day of match play, she was in the cut, in the top 4, and then in the second 8 games of match play, like 5 games into it, she was like 200 out of it, and she just, I don't know what she did, but I look up at the scoreboard and she's in second. I mean, I don't know how she did it, but she just steamrolled through people to get there.
Washout for Melanie. Rubin on the board with 208. And Melanie with work to do in game 2.
Yeah, I just think, you know, she's kind of, I think she's comfortable. I think, you know, I think physically, you know, she's not upset with the approaches or anything. I think she's just got to kind of tighten her angles up through the front and just kind of jam it at the head pin. And I think definitely that'll work for her.
Okay, nice conversion there. Classic washout conversion.
And that's a really good spare because that gives her another, just kind of another free, okay, let me get to the pocket shot, you know. I mean, it's always good for the head when you can come off of a strike instead of a split going into game 2.
So Melanie has lost game 1, but she's got 1 crack, and every shot counts here. As even though this won't affect this game, Melanie can use this shot to kind of feel things out for game number 2. Also, never forget the possibility of just trying another ball just to see how it rolls.
Yeah, and I think she kind of pointed that one a little more, so it's definitely, it'll be interesting to see if she can kind of take where she threw it right, take where she got it in that last shot, and put it right in the middle, because I definitely think that would be good.
Final score 208-167, and we've got one more game. And if Haley wins, she's 2-0, and in the championship match, if Melanie wins, the match is tied at 1-1, and we would go to a sudden death roll-off.
The match is over. If Melanie wins, we go to sudden death one fall. Let's give her a round of applause. Good luck, ladies.
And there's tournament director, tournament founder for the Team Masters, Gary Beck, and we turn him loose for one final game tonight. We've set the stage. Haley Rubin trying to get into the girls' championship. Melanie Hannon trying to stay alive in the tournament. Here we go. Melanie Hannon. She's 0-1 in matches and down a game here in match number 2. Desperately needs this game and a sudden death roll-off to stay alive, while Haley Rubin would like to extinguish the flame and go 2-0 and call it a night here at Grand Central.
And that looked closer to me. I mean, that was it was kind of, she didn't get it right, but she kind of got it in a little bit. But that was a lot closer than, you know, getting it too far right. I think that's a pretty good shot going on to her next frame.
I think she needs to get her feet a little bit left.
Yeah, definitely. I think the front of the lane is starting to kind of read a little bit. I think if she can kind of move a little left and just keep her angles a little straighter, I definitely think that'd work.
Haley's like George Foreman, Mike J, between rounds. She doesn't sit on the bench. She's just jumping up and down over there, staying loose.
Ready to rock.
Dancing.
So Haley Rubin, an emotional win in her first matchup, was all but left at the side of the road without a cab here in Midtown Manhattan, and charged literally out of nowhere, won game 2 and won the roll-off with Jessica Davies. And she got the crowd behind her at that point, and they have continued with her right into match number 2. Haley up a game here in the best of 2. Crosses over, 9-10 split. Appreciate you sticking around, Aaron. We know you got a match in the morning, and
Oh yeah.
fun to get some commentary from you.
Well, it's nice. It's just amazing here. I mean, it's like a stadium and a train station. I mean, it's incredible, and you know, I love talking. You know, a lot of people know I love to talk, so might as well talk to somebody who wants
Hey,
to listen.
it comes in handy when you do 12 straight hours of live bowling coverage.
Yeah. Gotta have a lot to talk about.
Yes.
I'd be just naming off, you know, what I had for lunch, what I had for breakfast.
I wish I had that opportunity.
Well, Mike, what'd you have for breakfast
Oh,
today?
I did have breakfast, but yeah, the lunch has been lacking. I did run out and stuff down a hot dog. And I'm telling you, street meat is my favorite thing in New York City. Hannon in the pocket. Carves out the 4-7 and a spare and a strike as Melanie tries to stay alive here. Yeah, I'll make up it later. I'll eat twice tomorrow.
Oh, I'm ready to eat. Stinks though, because I come in, if I'm really hungry here, it's gonna cost me a ton to eat. Go get 3 hot dogs and I'll be 25 in the hole.
Oh,
Yeah.
you just get one of those big crazy Italian sausages, and that'll feed you
With
for
some
days.
chili and cheese.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, a little different cost of living here in New York
Yeah.
versus Kansas.
Oh, amen to that.
Here's Haley after the open frame in the pocket.
shot.
10-pin is left behind.
I think my favorite thing is when you go to a restaurant, you know, anywhere in Kansas or a lot of places. I mean, you get a drink, you buy your drink, free refills. Here, not even the water refills are free. Holy smokes.
Yeah, wait till you try to park a car here.
Oh,
and,
nope.
And you get the bill for parking.
Yeah, I don't, not no $50 parking.
Spare for Rubin. Crowd continues to root for Haley. She trails by 11 pins. Third frame, game 2. Haley's up a game, but Melanie Hannon has something to say about that. Would like to try to stay alive in this event. She's 0-1 coming in. 1-1 still gives her a chance. 0-2, and we would have our championship match set with Ashley Dunn and Haley Rubin.
And you know, you want to win. I mean, that's really all you come here to do. But you know, if you lose, don't, you know, you just bowled in a train station. I mean, just the experience. That's the thing I love about this tournament. The experience is just priceless.
Melanie now doubles.
That was 2 really, really good shots.
Yeah, jumps out to a quick 21-pin lead.
Come on, game 2.
Yeah, this field could get really interesting if Melanie Hannon can figure out a way to win this match.
Oh yeah, if she wins, okay, so if she wins this match, she would be 1-1, and that would make Haley 1-0. And then if she won the match tomorrow, it would be her and Ashley Dunn in the final. So with this format, there's just so many different possibilities.
So Haley strikes in the third. Hannon in control at the moment with a spare and a double. Fourth frame, Melanie trails 0-1. Needs this game to force a sudden death roll-off for the point.
Yeah, and you can hear those high fives all the way over here, Mike J, at the other end of the building. Haley's got
Slappage of palm
yeah.
bouncing off the marble here as Hannon looking to turkey fourth frame.
It's gonna go.
And that's okay, you know, it was a bad shot. I know she's not happy with it, but just make the spare, stay close. You know, when you're bowling and you know you got to win, the last thing you need to do is get mad. That's the worst thing you can do.
Big mistake there. Big opening.
Yeah, that's like I said. Anything with the 1-2-4 combination, it looks so easy because you know all you gotta do, maybe move a board right and throw your strike line, but you kind of psych it out. You try and send it out a little too wide, or you get a little left like she did, and it's a hard spare.
So, strike here for Haley Rubin. She takes the lead in the game. Wow, awfully close there.
I think if she would have struck there, we might have seen a firecracker explode. I could just see her building up as the ball hit the pins.
Hang on. All right.
Whew.
Yeah. Skinny jeans, as Rob Stone used to say.
Yeah.
Take a look at the great venue here at Vanderbilt Hall. As we mentioned, 30-foot high ceilings in marble. This was built by the Vanderbilt family and dedicated for their original building of Grand Central.
Yeah, and everybody that's on the computer right now and watching should get on Facebook and watch the time lapse of them building. I mean, it's that was my favorite part from last year, was just seeing the big giant metal cage rise up. It's really cool to see everything come together that quick.
We'll have some highlights for you tonight on PBA YouTube channel. Also, stay tuned to the Team Masters YouTube channel, as great interview pieces and clips and highlights will be also coming out of the Team Masters channel. And then we'll be back with you live tomorrow at 9 a.m. Here's Melanie after the open frame. And fills it up. 9 spare for Melanie Hannon. And she leads by 6 pins. Rubin up a game, trying to close it out here. Prefer to avoid the sudden death. Roll off. Best of 2, that's how it works. If you win 2 games, you win the match. If you split the 2 games, we have a roll off to decide the winner.
It's got a hook.
And that's all right. I mean, that's for her. That's still 2 good shots, 2 back-to-back 7 pins, but they're at the head pin. Maybe she's got both of them a little right. Maybe she needs seeing a little carry down. She's got a parallel in a little bit. But 9 spare, and hopefully a spare here is still a really good place to be off of winning the first game. I think she thought that was going to slide.
So here comes Melanie, 75 through 4 with a spare up. Leads by 7 pins. She needs this game to force a roll-off. She needs the point in the match to go 1-1 and keep her hopes alive to seed herself in the Girls' Championship tomorrow. Everybody's got one more preliminary round match tomorrow. Best records advance to the boys and girls championships. Flushed it on the high side.
That looked like a really, really good shot. She was really down at the foul line. She posted it up really good, and really good result.
Still anybody's game, gentlemen. 6-pin match.
What frame are they in? The 6 frame? Oh, yeah.
Bottom
Yeah.
of the 6th for Rubin.
There's a lot of time. You could see a lot of stuff happen from now on.
I wouldn't bet against it.
Yeah.
Avoids the split. Just the 6-10 remains. Folks still passing through the Grand Central Terminal. You can see behind if you just joined us. We're at Vanderbilt Hall at Grand Central Terminal live in New York City. Just to the left there is the door to 42nd Street. Just a quick walk over to Times Square, Broadway. And to the right is Grand Central Terminal. And a train just about anywhere on the East Coast. Spare for Rubin and an 8-pin lead for Melanie Hannon, who needs this game to force the match roll-off. Melanie avoids the split, leaves the 4 and the 7.
Kind of looked like she not double dribbled, but bounced a little bit at the line. You know, it might have just been a little miss off her hand, but still, you know, hopefully a spare. I mean, that's not a terrible spot to be middle of the game.
Maybe also time to parallel in a little bit.
Yeah.
Keep moving.
Oh yeah, I after the first game, I did a 1 move and then a 1 and 1, and then I did like a 3 and 2. So you just, I mean, just because you think something's going to work, keep your eyes open because you might have to move again.
How much faster are they breaking down than what you see in a normal tournament or league environment?
Well, you know, the lane that we're bowling on, it's kind of funny saying lane, not lanes. The lane that we're bowling on, it really hooks a lot down lane, and even the front starts to hook. And I mean, with the lights, you know, the heat, it's not real humid here, but you can tell there's moisture in the air. They're breaking down faster than, definitely faster than qualifying. I mean, throughout qualifying, I might have to move 1, 2 and 1 each game. You know, I moved 5 and 6 and 3 the first game, you know, so you just have to really stay on top of it. Just because, you know, you get a couple in a row, you know, okay, 4-pin, it's okay. Just make the little move off of it.
Well, here comes Haley, and she'll step up in the 8th with a chance to take the lead here late in game 2. She can sweep Hannon and sweep herself into the championship final for the girls. Melanie's not done yet, though. 8th frame.
Hook. That's the thing that fools you right there is when they do start to hook and you miss right, it doesn't make it back.
Well, yeah, it's kind of where you know, somebody once told me that, you know, if you're playing, say, 14 or 15 and it starts to hook, don't just kind of get it right, you know, just move your feet a little left and make 14 and 15. Make that your gutter. Make that where if you get it right, you know, you can't get it right at there. You know, that's just kind of, you're just kind of throwing it to that little spot down the lane.
Down goes the 5-pin. Spare for Hannon. Now the key shot of the match. Haley Rubin, game up. Can strike, can double, can take the lead here in game 2.
Yeah, and if she puts a strike up right now, it's it would not just physically but mentally put a little stress on Melanie.
trip 4.
She was begging for it to hold. I think she's in the right part of the lane, though, guys, right now, and I think the advantage goes to her coming down the stretch here.
Yeah, definitely. I think that she kind of sees Melanie, when she gets a little right that she doesn't recover, and she's getting away with it. She's 4-pin, 6-10, which is safe. I would rather get one a little in on this pattern than get a little right, and I think she sees that, and hopefully she can get one just a hair right. But her getting up there and 9 spare, 9 spare, 8 spare, 9 spare, that's still a really good game here.
It's a 5-pin game. Hannon ahead, needs it to force a sudden death roll-off. We enter the 9th. It's our final match tonight. Mike J. Laneside with Jason Thomas. He's the bowling guy. Aaron Uradovich joins us. He's 2-0 on the boys' side, and we'll see him tomorrow facing Mr. Young at 9 a.m. Eastern.
Could be really interesting in the roll-off. If Greg goes Brooklyn, if I go Brooklyn, that could be a really interesting roll-off.
A Brooklyn off.
Yeah.
And trouble for Hannon.
Well, she missed right, and then so she tells herself, I can't miss right, but she doesn't move her feet. So then now she's catching more of that dry front part of the lane. Ball hooks high.
Well, and it's a little different for them because they re-oil before every match, but the guys, we automatically just move into 15. There's no start at 10 and just kind of inch. So there's still a little memory. So seeing them hook a little more in the front, that's just from a little memory of our last couple matches.
Melanie Hannon just gave the lead to Haley Rubin, sitting on the bench.
And this could be interesting. Hopefully she can, strike or spare and kind of capitalize on the open. That's the big thing when somebody gives you a chance. Don't keep the door open. Slam the door.
Oh, man. Good shot.
That was a really, really, really good shot.
With a spare, Rubin will lead by 9, entering the 10th. Conversion for Rubin. She's going to slap hands with everybody in this place if she puts herself.
I'm telling you, the intensity's you gotta.
I'm getting in line.
You gotta have some intensity. This is it. You gotta. Every shot counts. Every shot means the world. You gotta put it all on the line right now.
Well, bowler math time. 186, best Melanie can do with 3 strikes. Aaron, you did it earlier. Put all you can up in the 10th. See what your opponent does.
Well, hopefully there's just some positive, okay, let's just throw it good, thoughts through her head.
Oh, and now a washout with double wood.
That's just such a tough place to be. When you look up at the scoreboard and you're down 9 and, she's hitting the pocket, she's getting it there, just mentally it's really deflating.
Well, to have any chance, she must absolutely make this spare.
Well, she made one earlier, the last 10th frame, so hopefully she can send some pins.
Hannon trying to stay alive, 10th frame.
Oh.
Converts the washout with the double wood and keeps hope alive.
That should definitely make her smile. If I spared that when I needed it, I'd definitely be smiling.
Phil Ball would make it 176 if she gets them all. And we would need to see a mark out of Haley Rubin. Haley Rubin will have the ball in hand. Opportunity to punch her ticket to the finals. First fill ball for Hannon. 175 for Melanie Hannon.
Well, she needs a mark. And you know, in this position, you kind of just have to, okay, let me just throw it good like I did 2 frames ago. You know, just get it there, make the spare, you know, hopefully strike. I mean, you always want to strike when you need it, but, you know, if you know you can just spare, just get it there, throw a good shot, stay slow. I mean, that's most of the time right now, if you just get up and commit to your shot, you're going to make a good shot.
But it's always different when it's the shot to get you into the final. Mark to make the final.
Crossover.
Wow.
Uradovich style.
Yeah, baby. Slap that one off. Greg Young.
Wow. That's it.
Should just need to knock down something here. And Haley Rubin will find herself in the championship match of the girls' Teen Masters under-18 division with Ashley Dunn.
I mean, she'd hit the pocket almost every shot this whole game, and now you got a shot to make.
Maybe that's just the Grand Central fever. You know, you need one and you just dead left.
And what a turnaround for Rubin. In fact, I'm going to head down there and get a winning interview. Take us home, gentlemen.
All right, Mike J. Yeah, after starting off with 120 something her first game.
Yeah, and I mean, she's such a good player. I mean, it's just, you know, what goes, you never see her get angry. You know, you never see any negative emotion. You always see, okay, yes, good spare, you know, okay. Got away with one, okay. Let me just, it's just next shot, next shot, next shot. You can't get, she doesn't get stuck on, you know, an error.
Yeah, kind of similar to Zakatori last year. He came out and shot 130 his first game out on the lanes, and then bowled 279 and was unstoppable after that.
Oh yeah, you have to. That was so impressive by Zach. I mean, that really showed how good of a player he is.
Well, Haley Rubin advances to the final against Ashley Dunn. We've got a couple of matches tomorrow for the girls, but we already know who the finalists are going to be. It's going to be Haley Rubin there in the black versus Ashley Dunn, the #1 seed. And in just a moment, we'll have her down there with Mike J for a quick interview. Mike J, down to you.
Thank you, Jason Thomas, here with Haley Rubin. What a day it's been for you. You turned your game around. You turned this crowd around. You had this place rocking. What turned it around, starting with the Davies match?
Well, I'd have to say just staying positive, and you know, I knew if I could just give it my all, I could get back in it. You know, it's easy to get out of it, and it's really easy to get back in it again. You know, you just got to get the right thing going, rolling, and everything. Just, you know, I have a lot of support from my family.
You got the crowd behind you. Did that help bring you toward the end?
Yeah, definitely. I think it really helps keep the energy high and keep the positivity going. And I know that I got a lot of family back home that's watching right now, so I know that in my heart, and I can keep that in my head, you know, and bowl for them too.
And you just made a championship final. You're going to be bowling Ashley Dunn for the under-18 girls championship tomorrow.
Yes. I'm so excited.
Hey, what about a physical key? What was working with your game? And you really packed the pocket a couple times when you needed it. What did you find?
Well, you know, it couldn't get much worse. Nothing was working earlier, you know, so anything is better than nothing. So once I kind of got that one by one, everything just kind of started falling into place, and get the timing back, get a release back, and then it just kind of all goes together. If you can get one thing going right, everything else kind of just falls into place.
Well, you brought it home. You're going to be in the championship tomorrow. That's Haley Rubin going to bowl with Ashley Dunn. Congratulations. Have fun tonight. And we wrap things up here from Grand Central Terminal. We invite everyone in New York City to come and watch the action live. We pick up the action tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Time And we also invite our worldwide television audience watching on Extra Frame, same way, 9 a.m. Eastern, we'll have the final 4 regularly scheduled matches of our competition in our preliminary matches. And then it's the boys' championship, it's the girls' championship. We already know who's in the girls' championship, Haley Rubin, along with Ashley Dunn. And then when it's all done and we have a boy and a girl champion tomorrow, they will face off 7 o'clock tomorrow night, $64,000 scholarship match. Watch it here live. We'll see you tomorrow, or watch it on Extra Frame, along with Mike J. Laneside and the bowling guy. Jason, back to you.